During the Singapore Air Show last week, Italian defense company Leonardo signed a letter of intent with Indonesia for the supply and support of the M-346. The signing ceremony answered a rumor that has been circulating for months. Why is Indonesia turning back to the M-346 after it lost out more than a decade ago? And what does this mean to the T-50's future? Let's discuss it in today's video. The rumor of Indonesia's plan to acquire the M-346 has been going around since December. I thought it was just some chatter in the forums and social media, but it became increasingly evident in the weeks leading up to the Singapore Air Show. During the event, Leonardo announced they had signed a letter of intent with Indonesia to cooperate on the supply and support of the M-346F Block 20 to meet the Indonesian Air Force's training and combat requirements. According to various reports, the deal involves up to 24 aircraft with 12 additional options. This LOI will also include the localization of a range of support, maintenance, overhaul, training capabilities, as well as human capital development. The signing parties will now move into the next stage of discussions, which is signing the procurement contract. The new M-346F Block 20 light fighter configuration will be equipped with a large area display, an ISA radar, Link 16 data link, ECM, and new weapon systems. On top of that, the aircraft offers a complete integrated advanced flight training system, allowing student pilots to realistically simulate various mission scenarios. Interestingly, the M-346 was one of the candidates for the Indonesian Air Force to replace the Hawk Mark 53 trainer in 2010. As we all know, the T-50 Golden Eagle won that fight, and it deserves so. Side by side, the T-50 wins by quite a margin in performance. At that time, I remind you now, I'm talking from memories, the Air Force wanted a supersonic trainer, and neither the M-346 nor the Yak-130 could provide that. At that time, the T-50 was exactly the trainer that the Air Force needed. So, why the M-346, more specifically the M-346F Block 20 wins now? I think there are a few key reasons behind Indonesia's decision. It's true that the M-346 lost in raw performance against the T-50, but it compensated for those weaknesses with a highly advanced training feature, the Embedded Tactical Training System. This training system allows the aircraft to emulate various components like radars and weapons, and even generate a realistic computer-generated force, both friend or foe. I vaguely recall a forum post from some time ago discussing why the Singapore Air Force selected this trainer. Singapore certainly has no shortage of supersonic aircraft with dozens of F-16s and F-15 in its inventory, so a supersonic trainer is not a necessity for them. The key reason was because of this training system. The M-346 can simulate a wide range of missions and even replicate the firing of various missiles without actually carrying them. I think it's so cool. I'm not sure if the T-50 has a system equivalent of that. Moreover, since most of Indonesia's fighter fleet is gonna be twin-engine, having a twin-engine trainer could provide a more authentic training experience. Training in a twin-engine trainer directly prepares pilot students for the handling, system, and performance of the Rafale, KF-21, and Khan. It can expose students to more complex systems, including asymmetric thrust management, like simulating handling the aircraft when only one engine is working, a training menu that the T-50 cannot provide. It also directly translates to improve safety as well, since having more engines gives the trainer redundancy. If one engine fails, the trainer can still fly and land safely on the remaining engine. But this doesn't mean the single-engine trainer is bad. In fact, even the US Air Force chose a single-engine T-7A Red Hawk to replace its twin-engine T-38 Talon as the new advanced trainer. Although the Indonesian T-50 fleet cannot be compared with the latest M-346, it also competed for the US Air Force's T-X program. So I believe the technology requirement for that program could be applied to the existing T-50 fleet with upgrades. However, the situation with the T-50 and with Korea in general is more complex. I'm not gonna say every drama that happens between Indonesia and Korea. I'm just gonna say that from what I see, the defense relations between both countries are moving towards the end. Or at least, it will never be the same again. And this affects Indonesia's decision to move away from the T-50 as the only trainer. Now, what will the Air Force's fleet look like in the future? I got conflicting information in my research from the news and forums. Some say the M-346 will not only become an advanced trainer, but also a light fighter replacing the Hawk fleet, while others say that it is the T-50 that will be upgraded to serve this role. By having the latest M-346, I feel like the T-50 will become redundant, because the M-346 could provide better training and is equipped with sensors that the Indonesian T-50 lacks for the light fighter role. The M-346 indeed lost in speed and payload, but it has ISA radar and the ability to fire BVR missile like Meteor. It might be a waste to put the Meteor in a transonic fighter, but the capability is there. I remember the Air Force planning to add a radar to the T-50 fleet, but I cannot confirm if the upgrade was carried out. If people are saying it will serve a light fighter role, it will need to be upgraded to the FA-50 Block 10 or 20 to be competitive. But right now, I understand that AMRAAM is the only BVR missile available to be integrated, and this is something that Indonesia tries to avoid. South Korea is developing both short and long-range missiles to reduce its reliance on US-made equipment, while also offering alternative missile options to its export customers. Indonesia could tap into these options if it plans to upgrade the T-50, but so far, that idea remains to be seen. The M-346 story is moving fast, and I'm still connecting the dots from different bits of information, so there's a high chance I might be mistaken. I'm sure we will understand more if or when the contract is signed. I wish Indonesia could just stick to one type of trainer, but looks like this plan will come true, and nothing we can do to avoid it. I just wanted to ask all of us to oversee this acquisition together. Austria bought a dozen M-346 FA worth $1 billion. Indonesian price tag won't be far off from that, right? Right? And since we are all already here, I also want to talk about one more thing. As you have probably heard in Singapore Air Show, Boeing is not offering the F-15EX to Indonesia anymore. It was confirmed by Boeing's vice president on the opening day of the event. For me, this news wasn't a surprise. From the start, I already knew it was something that was far beyond Indonesia's reach. At the same week when Indonesia and France finalized the Rafale deal, the US DHCA released a notice to approve a possible FMS for the F-15ID. Despite the 2023 MOU signing with Boeing, it makes little operational sense to operate two frontline fighters with similar capabilities. So, I'm relieved that this campaign has officially ended. Sorry F-15 fans. With the first Rafales delivered, the focus should shift to enhancing their effectiveness through advanced missiles, AEW aircraft, or perhaps additional jets. What do you think of Indonesia's M-346 acquisition plan? The LOI is not a binding contract, so Indonesia still could bail out. But should they, or should Indonesia continue the purchase? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next one.